Hello, everyone. Welcome to Little Chapel of Faith. My name is Tina. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. We have platforms on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. If you're on any of those or all those, please like, subscribe, and share. We're here with the readings from the story of Saint Therese, Story of a Soul. We are on chapter 3. We are continuing with chapter 3. Actually, 4. I'm sorry. So let's begin. The 3 months of preparation for my first communion passed quietly, and I soon found myself in the retreat of the abbey as a full boarder. It was a wonderful retreat. I don't think anyone can taste much happiness except in a religious home. There were not many of us, so we could all have individual attention, and I could never express how grateful I was for the way our mistresses mothered us. I do not know why, but they seemed to watch over me more tenderly than the others. The first mistress used to come every night with her little lamp and gently draw aside the curtains of my bed, and then she would kiss me very tenderly on the forehead. She showed me so much affection for me that one evening, touched by her tenderness, I said to her, "Oh, madame, I am so fond of you. I want to tell you a secret, a big secret. I've been hiding your precious little book from Carmel under my pillow, and now I drew this out to show her. My eyes shining. She opened it very carefully, and then told me how lucky I was." Several times during my retreat, I realized that there were very few motherless children who were looked after as tenderly as I was at that age. I listened most attentively to Father Damon's conferences. I took very careful notes, but I did not put down any of my own thoughts because I was sure that I shouldn't remember them quite easily, and so I did. How delighted I was to be able to follow divine office just like the nuns. You could have picked me out from the rest by the big crucifix Leone had given me, which, like missionaries, I had fastened to my belt, and everyone thought I wanted to be like you. I thought of you so very often, for I knew that you too were in retreat. Not, it is true, for Jesus to give himself to you, as I was, but so that you could give yourself completely to him. And on that very day of my first communion, and so this quiet time of watching was twice dear to me. At last the most wonderful day of my life arrived. I can remember every tiny detail of those heavenly hours, my joyous waking up at dawn, the tender reverent kisses of the mistresses and older girls, the room where we dressed, filled with white snowflakes, in which one after another we were clothed, and above all, our entry into the chapel, and singing of the morning hymns. O altar of God, where the angels are hovering! I would not tell you everything, even if I could, for there are certain things which lose their fragrance in the open air. Certain thoughts so intimate that they cannot be translated into earthly language without losing at once their deep and heavenly meaning. How lovely it was at the first kiss of Jesus in my heart. It was truly a kiss of love. I knew that I was loved, and I said I love you, and I gave myself to you forever. Jesus asked for nothing. He claimed no sacrifice. Long before that, he and little Therese had seen and understood one another well. But on that day it was more than a meeting. It was a complete fusion. We were no longer two, for Therese had disappeared like a drop of water lost in the mighty ocean. Jesus alone remained, the Master and King. Had she asked him to take away her liberty, the liberty she feared? She felt so weak and frail that she wanted to unite herself forever to his divine strength. And her joy became so vast, so deep, that now it overflowed. Soon she was weeping, to the astonishment of her companions, who said to one another later on, "Why did she cry?" Well, there was something on her conscience. Perhaps it was because her mother was not there, or the Carmelite sister she loved so much. It was beyond them that all the joy of heaven had entered into one small exiled heart, and that it was too frail and weak to bear it without tears. As if the absence of my mother could make me unhappy on the day of my first communion. As all heaven entered my soul when I received Jesus, my mother came to me as well. Nor could I cry because you were not there. We were closer than ever before. It was joy alone, deep, ineffable joy that filled my heart. That afternoon, I was chosen to read the act of consecration to Our Lady. I expect they chose me because I had lost my earthly mother so young. Anyway, I put my whole heart into it and begged Our Lady to guard me always. I felt sure she was looking down on her little flower with love, and still smiling that lovely smile which she had cured me and delivered me. And I knew all I owed her, for it was herself, that morning of the 8th of May, who placed Jesus in my soul, the flower of the little field and the lily of the valley. When evening came that lovely day, Father led his little queen by the hand to Carmel, and there I saw you made the bride of Christ. I saw your veil all white, like mine, and your crown of roses. There was no bitterness in all my joy, for I hoped to join you and wait for you for heaven at your side. I was very moved by the family feast prepared at Lisbonetta, and delighted with the little watch which Father gave me. Yet my happiness was very tranquil, with an inward peace no earthly things could touch. Night came, and at last the end of my lovely evening, for darkness falls onto the brightest day. Only the first day of communion in eternity will never end. And I'm going to leave it there because this is a long chapter. So we will be back tomorrow with more. Till then, I hope you have a beautiful evening. I hope you had a wonderful day. Be well, be safe, be kind to each other. May God bless us all.